Is it on there?
Hi guys, welcome to this episode 34. I don't know if you guys can hear me, so comment if you can hear me. Welcome to the show. My name is Stephanie Cara Beltran-Brito, accompanied by my partner, Alexis. How are we doing, Alexis?
I'm doing great. What's up, Stephanie? How's your day going?
Doing well, a little crazy. We've got a little craziness in the office, but honestly, all part of the gym. We're here. As always, we're here to answer your immigration questions live, and anything we can do, you let us know in the comments. Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, we'll be here answering all your immigrations live and for free. So go ahead and share this resource with your friends every Tuesday at 4 p.m. So Alexis, talk a little bit about breaking news.
So I think everyone can hear us now, right?
I think everyone can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I made a little change here. So just in case you couldn't hear us now,
Excellent.
I think you'll hear us definitely now.
Welcome to episode 34.
34. We're
What's the
here
news?
full effect, Stephanie and Alexis. And I mean, there's quite a bit of news. I think the big one, one of the big ones is this Supreme Court has now given the authority to border agents to parole in anyone who's, let's say, on a green card. So legal permanent resident, essentially, if they have a pending criminal case in their local courthouse, federal courthouse, state, county courthouse, and that pending case is well, if there's a case to charge pending, essentially, when coming into the United States, instead of being admitted as a legal permanent resident, they're granted a temporary parole. What does this mean in effect? So previously, you were almost always, there were very few exceptions, granted an admission as a legal permanent resident, and therefore, hey, I have a legal criminal case, but it's pending, right? I haven't been found guilty yet, so wait till that's done before deciding what to do with me as an immigrant. Now, with this change, the standard of proof is, I think before it was like clear and convincing. Now it's somewhat less than that. So it's a very low bar where the CBP officer will parole you in. Yes, you have an active criminal case. If that criminal case, is adjudicated in your favor, no worries. I guess maybe go to your local USCIS office and get clarity on that. But if you are paroled and you're found guilty and it's one of these, inadmissible crimes, let's say CIMT, crimes of immoral turpitude, you can then enter proceedings. You will receive an NTA, go to immigration court, and at the end of it, it makes it harder to defend, and therefore you can be deported. So we'll see how this will take into effect. In practice, what will it actually be? But I think it's honestly going to be in favor of the federal government and those CBP officers.
Let's see. Okay, let's do some other news right now that's actually breaking as of yesterday. USCIS has proposed a regulation in order to increase the fee for N-400, which is the application for U.S. citizenship.
Yep.
Typically, the way it works is they suggest that they're going to increase the fees. So they want to increase the fees from $760 to $1,330. So basically, almost a 50% jump, right? Like a 40% jump.
Yeah.
And what they'll do is they're going to give a 60-day window for individuals like us to provide our comments. And then if they want to continue forward, they'll basically put it into place in 60 days. What does that mean for you? If you want to apply for your citizenship N-400, do it now before those 60 days so you could take advantage of the lower fee that's $760 because it is going up to $1,330 more than likely. So if you're thinking of applying for U.S. citizenship, let us know. We can certainly help you, or you can also do it on your own. And remember now for U.S. citizenship, the test is 128 questions, no longer 100 questions. And now you have to get 12 out of 20 correct. So make sure you study and make sure you apply. And I would say apply within the next 60 days so you could avoid the increase in the fees.
Absolutely. It's crazy. A 75% increase, depending on what it is, which fee exactly.
Crazy increase.
Almost double. So it's pretty significant.
I was surprised that they didn't really up the fees for anything else. So I was
Well,
pretty happy with that.
remember, they recently,
That's
like
why.
a year ago,
Yeah.
did some of the others. So, I mean, I guess let's read the policy. This was just, I think, today, no?
It was yesterday.
Federal Registrar yesterday, but, today's when we're finding out. We got to read it. It's a proposed rule. In essence, once it's a proposed rule, it's, 90% in. So we'll see what the commentary and the like is. But yeah, you're looking at a 75% increase across the board for many or a few applications. Not the most exciting news either.
And they're also going to reduce like the fee waiver. So sometimes there were individuals who could
Okay.
qualify for a fee waiver for several different reasons. They're eliminating that. You have to pay yes or yes. And in my experience, and I know in Alexis' experience as well, when there's a proposed rule about a fee increase, it happens.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing I can do in my commentary to USCIS to sway them. It's going to happen. Fee increases tend to be the least controversial. So they're the ones that go through. So file your N-400 now. Let's just say apply for U.S. citizenship now.
I mean, you'll go for, many years without a fee increase too.
Yeah.
So, it's a push and take there. But at least you have a 60-day warning. So if you qualify, get in and file. I totally agree with Stephanie on that. Take advantage now. So if you were on the fence, get off the fence.
Do you have any more news or do we go to the questions?
Immigration news. World Cup is hot. Miami, obviously one of the cities hosting the World Cup. We have so many people visiting. I love it. In my neighborhood, we had the Tartan Army with their kilts, and the Scottish. So the Scottish supporters, right? The Scotland fan club, and they were there having a great time. They marched over to the baseball stadium, which is a little bit down the road, but they performed there. And then at night, they were out partying a little bit. And I know there are activities going on in Miami Beach, which is, 20, 30 minutes away from the mainland, but, nothing far. They're everywhere. They're having a good time. But Brazilians are right now having a good time. So Wednesday, we'll see pretty matchup, but it's just nice to see people from different parts of the world all coming here
all together
to have a good time. You see it happening in Canada and Mexico as well. So, hey, man, it's immigration news because it's people visiting and having a great time. I love it.
Department of State got a visa for Vozinha's mom.
Oh, yeah.
So
finally
the
approved?
goalkeeper of Capo Verde, she was at the game 2 days ago in Miami, actually.
One, right.
And Department of State rushed through her tourist visa application so that she could go see her son as a goalie, which is very exciting, I think.
His story alone is pretty exciting.
Awesome. And that goes to show you that really Department of State is where the heart is at. They really... they have heart and they will find ways for individuals. And that's why I really like working with them.
One thing is always leadership and another thing is the people working. And, sometimes you like the people, sometimes you don't like leadership. Sometimes you love leadership and you're like, what's going on with the people? Hey, but Vozinha.
That's what I think about you all the time.
Hey, man. She loves me no matter what. So that's great.
This man didn't get me a coffee today. Let me tell the audience. Let me tell the audience.
She doesn't need coffee. Look at her. She's thriving.
I told him I needed a coffee today, and he went and got a coffee for himself and didn't get one for me.
Only have one hand.
All righty. Let's go to the questions. All righty. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the first question. It's okay. David Mercado. I've started a couple. Hi, I'm in the United States. I have a nephew who's 17 in Venezuela. He has finished high school and is a competitive speed skater. Awesome. We would like him to be able to do his university studies in the United States. What options do we have? O1 or EB1? Well, honestly, the easiest option is just an F1 student visa, right? So do an F1 student visa so that he can come to study in the university in the United States. You may want to contact these universities because maybe some of them are open to giving athletic scholarships because he's a speed skater. I don't know how in the world you got an ice speed skater in Venezuela, but good for you, man. So yeah, you can speak to the university, see if any are willing to give him a scholarship, and then apply for an F1 student visa. Oh, I see what you're saying though, because Venezuela is currently paused with F1 student issuance. Okay, so here's what we can do. We can apply. Okay. The pause technically should be over. So we can request an emergency appointment for an F1 student visa and basically request a waiver indicating that he has university studies starting. That should be able to help. You will need an attorney for that because it is we need to do it directly with the Department of State. If for whatever reason they choose not to issue the F1 student visa, yes, he can apply for an O1 or an EB1. But here's my concern. EB1 is also paused at the US Embassy for Venezuelans. So the only one you'll actually be able to get on time and in time enough for him to study is the O1. But with the O1, you have to have a petitioner. So basically a team in the United States or a sponsor, someone who wants to sponsor his competitions in the United States. So use that as a plan B after your F1. We'll help you get the F1 first. And if they deny it because of this current pause with Venezuelans, then I could help you get an O1, but we need to get a petitioner for that visa.
I agree. I think the F1 would be so fast. You get the I-20. I'm sure there are universities there that are already willing to work with him or have accepted him, right? And so your son can come and be here, and then we do the O1 change of status here. Just because of timing, especially school starts in 2 months.
But the thing is like, okay, so we have the pause on the F1 student visa, but I would argue, and I have to look back, was the pause in the PM 10949 that the pause that was taken away? The pause on F1, in which PM did that come?
I believe it's the same one.
I feel like it's the same one.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same one.
Because the immigrant visa is a separate one, the 75 countries.
But wasn't there one before that?
It could have been.
Basically, remember, and
3 PMs were
excuse
revoked.
us. Exactly.
Yeah.
So PM is policy memos, okay? And presidential proclamations are PPs, right? So Trump came out with a lot of proclamations and a lot of policy memo changes where they're pausing cases and restarting cases and doing it for specific countries. And first it was 12 countries, 9 countries, 17 countries, 39 countries, 75 countries. So it's very, very complex. A court about 2.5, 3 weeks ago said that a pause was illegal, and they took away like 3 of the presidential proclamations. And I'm pretty sure the memos. And I'm pretty sure the one that suspended F1s for Venezuelans was included in that. So I'm pretty confident that I could get you an appointment. So let that be our first stop. And if that doesn't work, we'll go for O1.
O1, absolutely. All day. Hey man, Jamaica had a bobsled team. Venezuela could have a skating team.
Venezuela ice skater is crazy.
Kendall Ice Arena, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Down in the heart of Miami. What? Let's go here to Yoha G with a super chat. Any approvals for Venezuelans? Cases actively being reviewed after interview. How long do you think it will take? So Yoha, it'd be nice to see or to know, sorry. It'd be nice to know what kind of case do you have specifically that was already reviewed after interview. I'm assuming, it could be I-45, green card, employment-based, family-based, just to get a little bit more context. Regarding Venezuelans, I will comment that we have yet to get any approvals rolled in. We have followed up on a few cases. They did give us a general response of, well, everything's still under review. They're using a different guise as to, the security of the review. Now, listen, they're using discretion at the end of the day. You can always use discretion. It just, and I'll frame this in somewhat legal tense, can't be a blanket discretion, which was being done before. You're from X country, we're going to review it. Now they're going to say, hey, we're reviewing it for security features, measures, whatever the case may be. Maybe eventually you can ask for details on that. It's too new. But I'd like to know what case you're referring to. We haven't had any. I mean, I haven't had any in the past week. Everything is still pending. And that was the last response. I think it's going to take 30 to 60 days before we see actual results. Green card by marriage. Okay. Yeah, that's part of the group. So
I'm getting, for green card by marriage, I'm getting I-130 approvals for Venezuelans, but I'm not getting the I-45 approval.
Exactly. And she already had the interview.
Right.
By the way, at 90 days after your interview, if everything is still pending, you should file a service request to get an update after 90 days. I understand, let's say 85 of those days were under the quote unquote pause. I don't care. Try to file a service request. Don't wait an additional 90 days from 3 weeks ago. 90 days from your interview date, no response, on the 91st day, file a service request and try to get an update as to why. They should answer specifically. Because it's going to take 30 to 60 days to get a response. If it's not favorable in the sense of very generic or, hey, we're still working on your case, next steps, ombudsman, maybe a writ of mandamus thereafter. I mean, there are steps you can take, but let's start with the most, the least impactful when it comes to having to spend money and time, right? A service request is something quick that you can do, but you have to do it after 90 days. You could try, but generally they won't allow you to do it. The system knows. It's all very, we're very fast to stop something, but once it's overturned, it's a little bit of a process, right? So unfortunately, we have to have some patience and with that pushback, right? So keep pushing. Feel free to maybe even contact your congressperson at this point, your congressman, let them know, hey, this is what's going on and see. But there I would still say, 90 days is appropriate.
We have a question from Instagram. Chef in Casa. Hi, I'm a private chef in Colombia. Nice. And I need to be in Miami. Can we help? Absolutely. So I do a lot of O1 petitions for chefs. I need to show something a little more than just private chef for personal families, right? So for chefs, typically the way to win an O1 case is you can do things like showing that you've won cooking competitions or showing that you've judged cooking competitions. Maybe you were at a restaurant previously and that restaurant got an award, or maybe you yourself were discussed in the press where you were talking about, I don't know, your favorite meals for Christmas, something like that, right? So you do need an element of press, awards, and judging, that combo, in order to apply and some sort of executive role within a kitchen, not just private home chef, in order to go for an O1. If O1 is unrealistic for you because you really don't have those things, then you may want to consider doing a perm labor certification where the family formally petitions you for permanent residency. Beautiful case, and you'll get a green card. But the problem there is that case is going to take about 3 years. So it's a pick and choose. If you want to get here sooner, O1 is the way. If you don't have those elements, you're going to have to wait, but you can get a labor certification and get a green card through the family. So that's definitely a route.
O1 is the way. Talk about O1. So we got another one here. So Lau Chavez asks, hey, O1B ends in 3 months. How can I apply for an extension through the consulate but stay here? Also, is there anything very important I can't miss? Are they going to check what I did with my previous O1? No money for PP. I'm assuming premium processing. So you can file an I-129 while you're here, and you can request consular processing. But if the case is still pending, or at the time of approval, but before your current I-94 expires, you need to leave the country, whether the case is pending or approved. Why? Because you selected consular processing, meaning you are going to go to the embassy for an interview to obtain the new visa and come back. The other option is you file for an extension, the same employer or even if it's a new employer, to then request the date starting, the day your current O1 ends through the next 3 years or whatever the term of the job offer is, 3 years max. That will allow you to remain in the United States. You won't get a visa stamped in your passport, but you'll have an approval notice with an updated I-94, which will allow you to remain in the United States. Now, without premium processing, guess what? It's going to take maybe 4 to 6 months right now. That's okay. My not concern, but something you need to be mindful of, I should say, is if you do consular processing, they're really not going to ask you what you've done the last few years. They could ask you, but you're not really providing evidence of it. Maintenance of status, they call it. If you do the extension here in the United States, 99% chance they'll ask for it. It's actually recommended you provide evidence of that. What can it be? For example, I participated in the projects. I received payments the last 4 or 5 months, and they should be in line with what was presented in the job offer. Okay? So maintenance of status is provided when you're doing an extension in the United States. If you're doing consular, you don't have to worry about it, but you do need to leave. So you got to pick and choose what you really want in order to pursue this, especially if you're not doing premium processing, because it is going to take 4 to 6 months. So it seems like your time's going to run out before you get that.
David Mercado had a follow-up. Can you think of any option for the nephew's mother to come as a dependent on the visa? Both are Venezuelan. She cannot come on a dependent for the F1 student. She can come on a dependent for the O1 as basically an O2 as the, the business manager, the one who's in charge of his contracts as a speed skater. So it would be an O1A athlete. Oh no, mentira. I can't, because O1A athlete can only bring their coach. So unless the mother's a coach, retract what I just said. I forgot that he was an athlete. O1A athlete, the only O2 they could bring is the coach. So unless the mother's the coach, she cannot come as an O2. So she can't come on either, right? Technically, sorry. She would have to do her own visa.
Yep. Let me just take this one from the top. Larium 333. Hello, I got 20 months and counting, waiting for my response on an I-140. In case I get an RFE, what can I do? Looking to work on a response for an RFE. Thank you. So you more than likely have an EB2 and IW pending. Those are taking about 26 months. Really, if you're anticipating a request for evidence, it's hard to tell you what they're going to request. Things that are common is, are you well positioned? Does your endeavor have substantial merit, national importance? But it really depends. What did you already provide? What can you add to that? Is it a material change when you respond? So, I mean, don't get worked up too much on it, I'd say at this point. Wait for that RFE to come if you get one, or an approval. If you have an approval, nothing to even be concerned with. If you get an RFE, you have 84, 87 days to respond. So that should be plenty of time to prepare anything that you need for that response. You're not really introducing new evidence. So things that happened after you filed that I-140, you're not really providing, unless it's, hey, this is my endeavor. I've actually pursued it, invested time, money, energy into it. Those are things that you might be able to include in an RFE response if it's requested. Hang on tight. Unfortunately, those are taking a long time. If it's a different visa classification under the I-140, you more than likely should have had a response. I'd say check out the processing times online. You put in your priority date, and it'll give you an exact time amount.
Uh-oh. Voy a regañar a alguien.
What happened?
Sofia, por favor. TN Mexico stamped until October 2026 with employer. I stopped working in November 2025. I spent 6 months in Mexico. I re-entered on that TN visa, even though I was no longer working with the employer. I now work for a new company on W-2 without a transfer. Is that a violation? Yes, mija. Can I do the transfer now? Okay, here's my concern with doing the transfer now. You can do the transfer with USCIS, filing an I-129, or you can stamp at the consulate. But the second you do that, they're going to see that you've been in the United States, and they're going to ask you for proofs of payment with the old company. And you're not going to be able to provide that. You definitely cannot provide the W-2 with the new company. So I'm going to be honest with you. Your only option is to go back to the other company, ask them for pay stubs and work with them, get at least 3 pay stubs, and then file formally a change of employer. And you cannot work with the new employer until that application is approved, whether you do it at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico or whether you do it with USCIS. But I guarantee you, USCIS is going to ask you for your 3 most recent proofs of payment with that employer.
Yeah, that's you're in a pickle, as they say. That's not a good place to be. What if she were to file a brand new petition?
Still going to be maintenance of status issue.
Yeah.
Still maintenance of status issue.
Yeah. Just maybe they're less likely to request any of that information. I'm sorry, you shouldn't have done that. There's just no way around it.
Mijo, get to the next question.
Just it sucks. Hey, Cruz is here. Okay, let's not rush this.
You guys have no idea.
How you doing, Cruz?
Separately, I'm like, Alexis, please speed up the questions.
I don't read those chats. Luigi, how effective is it to refile an I-140 using a strengthened version of the endeavor of a previously denied petition? Is generally preferable to develop an entirely new endeavor for the new I-140 filing?
Nah.
Would it be? I mean, you could if you wanted to, but why? You believed it the first time around. Maybe there are things that you can change. more details you can provide, maybe a business plan. I wouldn't be too concerned with in changing the endeavor altogether. I would maybe add to it, right? I'll give you an example. I had a client who filed, and this was a couple of years ago, or last year. We filed the I-140 2 years ago. Last year, RFE denied. We refiled, but when we refiled, it was for a logistics company. But we reframed it not so much just the logistics, but reshoring and then handling logistics there. So there was a pivot, right, or change. By the way, the person did have a work authorization here, so they were able to begin developing and working with companies and providing services to other companies. So it was an operation, but the endeavor was changed. And guess what? Everything was approved. It may have been because of that. No one can tell you right now, right? Immigration's a little bit unstable, right? But I think pivoting a little bit is fine, but changing it completely, it depends. I, as an attorney, would love to review what you filed first to give you a true and honest opinion. I don't think you have to, though. Have you contacted us for the refile? That should have been step one.
Santos, hello to my awesome lawyers. I'm from Colombia and I filed an EB-1A in April, regular processing. I now have a U.S. job offer willing to sponsor an O-1. Will the O-1 impact my pending EB-1? No. O-1 is a dual intent visa. You can have it while you apply for an EB-1. You could apply for it before, after, or during. Perfectly fine. I'm going to jump to another one.
Go for it.
Is it true that as a Mexican citizen with TN, I can transfer employers with an officer at the border without filling out any forms? Canadians can do that. Canadians, I know it's NAFTA, and technically Canada and Mexico should be treated the same, but they're not. Canada can go just to the border, present the new employment letter, the new job offer, prepare all the documentations at the border. There's literally an office at Toronto Pearson, whatever it is, whichever airport it is, and they could do everything at the border. But Mexicans can only apply for their TN either in the United States with I-129 or at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico. Those are your only two options. You cannot do it in the border. Only Canadians can do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Luigi had a little bit of follow-up here. Do you have any recent data on how long premium processing cases are taking after RFE response is submitted? The same amount of time. So if EB-1A, for example, premium processing gives you a response in 15 business days. Once you submit the response, expect a decision in 15 business days. EB-2NIW, 60 business days. 45 business days. Expect a response 45 business days. So that's pretty consistent. Also, our EAD is taking around 9 months as shown on the website. Are approvals coming faster? Approvals coming faster? I don't think so. Maybe for perms. I've seen it for EB-3. Non-premium coming in pretty quick.
No, I think he's asking about the approvals of the EADs.
Oh, for EADs? Yeah. I think it's still taking around the same time.
I'm seeing like more like 6 months. I don't think it's really getting to 9 months.
I mean, honestly, I do. It depends the case because I have a few that get it in 3 months, 4 months. Depending on the case, maybe 6 to 7, maybe 8 months on a few. What I do see a lot, not the majority, but I just do see it more often than not. Well, that would be the majority. I'd see it more often than you would imagine, right? Is the dependents get it before the principal.
It's so portable.
Hey, man.
That is 100% true. The beneficiaries, the derivative beneficiaries always get it before the principal. Always. And it makes no sense because usually the principal is the one who needs to work.
My 5-year-old kid.
Like my 5-year-old kid got his EAD, but like the principal didn't. That always happens.
Yeah. But TBD.
So portable. Hi, Nicolas Cruz. You guys are the best. Thank you, Nicolas. I'm EB3 Other Workers, Consular Bogota, November 2022. What's my priority date?
Do you want me to check? I have it right here.
Please.
For July, since we're basically there. So July, we're looking for adjustment of status. Is that what we want?
Nice, consular.
Consular. So July, dates of filing, we're looking at EB3 Other Worker, August
2022. All right, and your date's November 2022. You're very close.
Yeah.
I think I'll be waiting at least 2 years. No, I think it'll be less. Is there some way to go before? I want my child 6 years to start elementary ASAP over there. I mean, that's a really good point. Other workers in final action is March 2022. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be 2 years. I think it's going to be less because you're November 2022, and even for final action, it's March 2022. So it's like should be like a year, not 2 years. If you want your child to go to school ASAP, one option is to come on an F1 student visa. So you can attempt to apply for an F1 student visa. It'll be difficult, right? Because number one, you already have an approved I-140 and you have to say that on the form. Number two, because of your age, it's going to be unlikely that you're coming to school unless you're saying, like, one argument, listen, the worst they could say is no. So I would maybe apply and I would say, look, I have an approved I-140 and I want to get ready for my job. So I want to speak English. So I want to go ahead and study English. I found this English program and I'm going to enroll. I have done it before, and believe it or not, it has been successful, especially because it's like, look, I have a US employer who's expecting me to speak English. So I need to study English very quickly. Just know that it's like a 50-50. They might say no. And then in that case, you just have to keep waiting.
But be mindful. You yourself have to come, or your spouse, maybe your spouse does it, has to come to the United States, and they have to go to class. They have to go to school, and you got to pay for that. So there's a cost benefit, right? I agree with Stephanie. I think maybe in the next 3 to 6 months, you're filing that petition, and maybe about 6 months after that, getting the green. Well, the thing is also, what if the pause is still in effect for Colombians?
Not F1. Oh, by the time
for
the
green
perm.
card.
Oh, by the time the perm.
Like, it's hard to say.
We don't know. We don't know how long this immigrant visa pause is going to happen.
You might need to consider H-1B.
H-1B. If he's the reason I didn't say H-1B,
I know it's other worker,
is because it's other workers. So I'm assuming you don't have a degree. If you have a university degree, the company could petition you, or a company could petition you under an H-1B. Pero ya va. Imagine he gets petitioned by the same company under H-1B. They're going to ask, why didn't they ask for the bachelor's degree on the perm?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It just depends.
Unless you have another company willing to do H-1B for you. E-2 investor visa is not an option. It's not dual intent. L-1, you're not currently working for a company that has sucursal in the United States.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't. I know I could read.
It's unlikely. No,
Nicolas
it's unlikely. But
from here,
Nicolas, I think maybe a little bit of patience, but consider that the F1, there's the cost. Maybe do it under your spouse. I would recommend that, though.
Yeah.
Don Ellis.
No, because the spouse still has to report the I-140, and he could say that the English is for his employer. You as principal.
Sure.
What's the spouse's reason for learning English?
She's coming to the United States and she's going to get
he has a stronger
job.
argument because he has to work with his employer.
Yeah. I just don't, I'd love to know what was put in what were the requirements?
I mean, inevitably, if you're coming to the United States and an employer wants you to speak English, I think there's an argument to be made there.
But they might have presented that the person already speaks English. You know what I'm saying?
How?
I don't know. I agree with you. Well, they shouldn't. I agree with you. But we didn't do that case. We always want to see the work of other attorneys because guess what?
It's fair.
They make mistakes.
It's fair.
You always got to cover your bases. I trust no one other than her and myself a little bit.
I do trust Alexis a lot. He talks too much, but I trust him. He never gets me coffee either, but I trust him.
Imagine she wouldn't even stop if I gave her the coffee. Good afternoon, Donelli says. Have you guys received any CO9 work permits for Venezuelans after the pause? We've seen nothing.
After they removed the pause.
After. No hemos visto un cambio. Sorry. Also known as sorry.
Keep going.
Let's see. We got another Instagram. Instagram is live today. Christina asks, I'm a pharmacy tech in Spain and I want to migrate. I want to move to Orlando. Can you help me? If you could respond to me in Spanish and do me a favor. I'm studying English, but I don't understand. So I'm gonna respond in English first. Listen, usually with that background, a company is petitioning for you, so that's the truth. Now, as a pharmacy tech, I don't know how much research. Are you a professor? Maybe there's another angle we can take. Have you developed a business? Maybe with that we can expand and consider other visas. Um, Cristina, gracias por escribirnos. Normalmente depende el éxito que ha tenido en la carrera, cómo se ha desarrollado. Lo más común es obvio que una empresa lo vaya a pedir, una oficina de médico, un hospital, etcétera, una universidad, pero dependiendo de los logros que ha tenido, años de experiencia, quizás si has llevado una carrera como docente, se puede explorar otras opciones. Yo siempre digo, escríbenos, mándanos su currículo y con eso le podemos dar una opinión real. I always recommend everyone, if you want us to evaluate your profile, send us your CV, write to us, have the consultation so we can get very in depth into what your options are. We give homework all the time. It might be most beneficial, but write to us. Good luck.
Bueno, ya, espérate, voy para allá. I was looking at something. For an agent petition, Happy Tech, O1A for tech consultant. I understand a job offer is needed. Can that offer be from a company you set up in the United States? What if you don't have other clients' offers when filing? Okay. You can't really do an agent petition for an O1A, not in the same way that you could do it for an O1B. Okay. For an O1B, you can do an agent petition and submit with multiple employers. And then once you're in the United States, you can work with even additional employers. With an O1A, it's commonly known as a closed visa, very informally, right? Because you need to have the offer, and the offer technically should come from the petitioner, right? So in your situation, it can be from your own company that you set up in the United States. I've done that before. It's like a pseudo self-petition O1, right? But what I want is a couple of key elements. So you open, let's say, your own LLC, your own company in the United States. I want you to have a co-owner. Okay. I want you to have a co-owner. I do not want you to have 100% of the company. I want you to have maybe maximum 90% of the company. That's a good way to make something successful because you're showing that you have another individual who has say, they have the hiring and firing ability. You need to be able to be fired, right? That's very important. If you don't have that, you can usually show that with a board of directors as well. So you have to report to a board of directors. And if your performance is not up to par, you can be fired. That's a very key element for O1s. I also want you to have someone else signing on behalf of the company, which is usually that minority owner, number one, or just a legal representative. And I want you to have a physical location. It is very difficult to do an O1A self-petition with a location that is a home. Because if you're just working from home, I put myself in the shoes of the officer, well, then work from your home country. Why do you need to work from home in the United States? So I would say at least have an address, a commercial address. What I can also recommend is sometimes we utilize addresses like WeWork addresses, right? Which is rented office space. So you can show that, listen, I've already reached out to WeWork. Once this is approved, I have this office space that I will be using, but have a commercial address. That is the way to structure it. And then your own company will say that you are going to get clients and make things with clients. You don't necessarily already have to have the offer with clients.
That was a good response. That's spoken.
The master, the Karate Kid.
I love that. Here we're gonna go with Pablo. Hello, perm approved, priority date January 2025. Haven't filed the I-140 yet. My daughter's almost 22 years old. Can we have her renew her B1, B2, or will they deny it? Honestly, she's not part of the petition. So all she has to do is show that she has ties to her home country and that she has no intent of migrating to the US, right? At this point. So she should be able to, she's not CESPA qualified, so she should be able to file that B1, B2 renewal and obtain it. They might call her in for the interview. And then at that point, hey, I'm employed, I'm studying, I have my apartment, I have my commitments, everything tied to that, and be adamant, hey, I'm not part of my family petition. Just really quickly for Pablo in Spanish. Pablo, como su hija no forma parte del grupo familiar de la petición de usted y no lo va a formar porque ya no califica, debe de renovarla y, mira, indicar todos los raíces que tiene en su país, de estudio, de trabajo, compromisos, aclarar, no tengo intención de emigrar a los Estados Unidos y es más, mira, la petición I-140 ni se ha hecho. Nadie sabe de las intenciones de la empresa todavía con usted. Haga la renovación ahora. I'll renew immediately.
Alrighty. Pablo has a follow-up. Here you go. Let me give it to you.
Yeah, you got it?
Go ahead.
EB3 skilled. I'm going to do it consular for the visa. Do I need to know English or can they deny it based on this? English is not a requirement, so I would not be concerned. Pablo, el saber inglés no es un problema, no es motivo para que le nieguen el caso, entonces no me preocupa. La entrevista en la embajada siempre se hace en inglés o en el idioma natal del país. So anytime you go to a consular interview, it should be in the English language or that country's official language.
Let me go with RG Neves, I think.
I think it's RJ.
RJ. Funny, Alexis. I entered the United States legally as a tourist and I plan to get married after the 90-day period. How can I maintain legal status? Is it easy to change to F1 visa? Are there other options available? So look, the only reason this question is coming up is because of the adjustment of status memorandum that came out about a month ago at this point. But I will say I'm already having decisions roll in of individuals who did not maintain any other lawful non-immigrant status except for spouse of U.S. citizen. So here's my question for you. Did you enter with a tourist visa or did you enter with ESTA? If you entered with ESTA, I would not do your petition within the United States. I am still going to be cautious and conservative with the AOS memo. I would do the I-130 from abroad, and I would do all processing from abroad. In the meantime, you could apply for a work visa from abroad. If instead you entered with a B2 tourist visa, I would file the petition while your I-94 is okay. I would do it, and I would not maintain a lawful non-immigrant status because honestly, I think the AOS memo was more to scare than anything else, and you're married to a U.S. citizen, so there's really no problem.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming you're married to a U.S. citizen. Thank you, Steph. I'm your fan. Thank you. Santo, call me and I'll do your 01.
I was about to put that. I was like, hey, look at
I'll
this.
do your
Look at all
01,
the love.
Santo. Call me.
Make sure you get her a coffee.
I cannot believe.
If not, she will stop loving
I
you
cannot believe this
over
man.
a coffee.
I was like, I'm really tired today. I want to get a cortadito from this guy that we know. And he was like, great. And he went in and got the guy and he didn't give me a coffee.
I was looking for you to come
Tú eres
with me.
sinvergüenza,
I
dude.
was looking for
I'm never
you.
going to let you live that down. And I bought him
You know what?
a
It's
tea
not a
like 2
problem.
weeks ago. And I bought him breakfast yesterday.
I'm just going to go to Colombia. It's fine.
Just go to Colombia.
I don't have to hear you there.
There you go. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to me over there.
Cruz, I would love to go to that farm eventually. That sounds like fun. You have horses. What do we have there? What's on this farm?
Agriculture,
Is it-
fruits.
is
Colombia has the best fruits.
Colombia does have really good fruit. I've been to Colombia a few times.
Horses.
Never to the. Where did I go? I went to País Paisa, Antioquia.
El eje cafetero.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. You could tell that they grow good, nice stuff there. That's very rich. I'd love to know what's in the farm. Let us know. Hola, Cruz. Let's go here with Gustavo. Hello, you are the best. Thank you, Gustavo. I received my priority date, October 4th, 2024, for my I-140. U.S. processing times are currently increasing 1 month each month. Should I always keep these times in mind? I mean, you could check once a month, usually around the 20th of the month. By then, you already have the visa bulletin for the following month updated. It does vary, anywhere between the 10th and the 20th. But what is it right now? I looked at it, 3rd. Wait, it's current. Oh, wait, consular, he said?
He didn't say.
Oh. I mean, Gustavo, if you're doing consular, if you're outside the country, I understand. But if you're in the country, you found adjustment of status.
Well, you didn't even know the category.
I think he had said perm earlier. No?
But perm EB3? Perm EB3 other workers?
I think it was a regular worker,
Déjame chequear.
professional worker.
Déjame chequear.
I thought so.
No, he didn't say. Estás confusing.
That
Ya
I
va,
might be
ya va, ya
confusing
va.
with a
Tú
different
estás
one.
confusing con otra persona.
Sorry. Gustavo, it would be nice to know what's your.
I love,
Are you
I
EB3
love
other
when somebody
worker?
says, pero ya va, and I
Yeah.
had just said it.
Yeah. It's like he was like predicting this. He's like,
Ya va.
we need more info, Gustavo. What
Give me
visa
the
category and is the intention adjustment of status or consular? Also, what country are you from? Because again, though there was a lift in a ban, there's not a lift on all bans.
Correct.
And so it's very important to know that there's still 75, I think, countries that fall under
Mhm.
an immigrant visa ban. Okay, so it's
EB2
very
and
important. EB2 and IW. Okay, so if you're, I mean, that's current.
What
as well.
country are you from, Gustavo?
Yeah. Is he said there or no? I mean, it's current, no matter what.
Might not be approved yet.
Oh, is your I-140?
Yeah, it's probably not approved yet.
Oh, the processing times of the I-140.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's taken 26 months. Yeah, they add a month each month. I understand, Gustavo. You're concerned with the I-140 approval. I mean, yeah, honestly, earlier in the year was 22 to 24 months. Now it's 26 months. No, be proud. Listen,
I mean, of course he's proud.
you're
It just-
gonna
this
have
administration is going
you're
hard on
gonna
us
have a
all.
response by the end of the year. I'm sure of it. I'm starting to get some decisions in now, or RFEs, if that's what happens to get, for cases I filed towards the middle of 2024, even end, like that September, between June and September. So you should be getting a response, I'd say, in the next 4 to 6 months. Sorry. It is taking longer. They keep adding time.
Chuchi, I need you to go a little faster, okay?
Hey, let's ride.
Okay.
What you got?
Excellent. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Mario, abrazos para nuestra abogada Matza desde Guatemala. Hi, Mario. Let's see. Stephanie's team Stephanie, let's go. I applied February 2026. If I apply for premium processing, is Mexico currently accepting applications? Yes, Mexico is not paused. What happens if I apply and it's no longer accepted? I have a son who will turn 21. What case was Juan? Had he earlier wrote to us? I don't remember seeing his name. Juan, what type of case? Chuchi, what type of case? I need to know what type of case. I applied in February 2026. If I apply for premium processing, let's assume EB2 and IW, okay? If I apply for premium processing, is Mexico currently accepting applications? Yes, there's no pause. What happens if I apply and it's no longer accepted? No, it's still going to be accepted. It's just maybe there's delays on issuance on visas. I have a son who will turn 21. Look for our CESPA talk. It is on YouTube. It is getting much more difficult to include a near 21-year-old child. We have a show on CESPA on Thursday, actually. On the Spanish show, we are going to be discussing CESPA, but we also already did it in English. You can already find it on our YouTube page. If the son is very close to turning 21, please know that he will likely not be included in the petition. But once you become a green card holder, you can petition him, because a parent can petition an adult minor child if they are a green card holder.
I will say, though, if it's EB1A or EB2NIW, both charts are current right now.
Sí, eso sí es verdad.
So if he files the DS-260, consular, right? I'm assuming consular, or adjustment of status, that day, if you're current under the final action chart, that's the day they'll make the determination. Assuming your son's not 21 yet.
Right. So we have to know when the kid turns 21
There's a
and
whole
what
process.
type of case. And if the premium is 15 days EB1 or 45 days EB2NIW, that'll also change things as well.
We have an approval. What month did we get that approval? There are a lot of factors, Juan.
Ojo, Juan, the processing times at the Mexican consulate are abysmal. Yes and no. Immigrant visas are not abysmal.
That's true.
So green cards, I'm getting appointments regularly with Ciudad Juarez, very, very constant, very, very quickly. So remember, not all visas are the same. So some wait times are longer than others, but immigrant visas, which is your situation because you applied for an I-140, those wait times are not bad in Mexico.
RJ has a follow-up.
¿Qué da RJ the follow-up?
That the fiance is a permanent resident.
That was the I-130. Should he maintain status because of the AOS memo? F2A is currently on the visa bulletin. If you entered with a tourist visa, I have no problem filing the I-130 and I-45 and you not maintaining lawful status. If you want to be extra conservative, change to F1 first, but do it with premium. Can I do it with premium? Yes. Do it with premium so that you can immediately thereafter file your marriage-based petition and study. I have a case of someone who didn't study and they got denied on the marriage-based case because they didn't study. So either go straight and really don't stress the AOS memo too much, or go F1 with premium. And once you're F1, study for a month and then file your marriage-based.
And get in. Yep.
Let me do a follow-up on Happy Tech because I had already done the first part.
Yep.
I heard that they are currently pushed back without actual client job offers for the O1A via agent petition. Yes, because it's an agent petition. That's what I said. And your own company as the only offer. No. Have you any pushbacks as well? No. The way you need to structure it, Pablo, you need a good attorney. Okay, call us. It's not a U.S. agent. Think of it as a U.S. employer. Your company petitions the visa. Your company gives the job offer. The pushback is typically on things like address and things like, that you have minority owners. So the things I mentioned to you. If you do it clean cut, you're not going to have pushback. You're going to be good.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to have an issue.
Would you please share a typical case filing timeline O1A? We could typically put an O1A together within about 60 days. That's usually how quick we do it. If I really need to do it in 30 days, I will, but please don't make me do that. We'll do it in 60 days. And yeah, you could, for a consultation, you can go beltranbrito.com/contact.
Where is it?
It's going to show up on the page at some point in time. That's what they're doing on Instagram. beltranbrito.com/contact. I don't know why it's not on the screen, but it's going to come up. I promise.
While it comes up, I'm going to take on Memo Reyes, who asked. There it is. Right on top, guys.
There it is. Happy Tech right there. Oh, right there.
There we go. Keep it in the screen.
Right there.
When do you think I'll get my work permit for an AB3 unskilled worker category from Mexico? November 30th, 2022, priority date, adjusting of status. So did you already file that?
I don't think he's filed. Memo has been here before. I don't think he's filed.
August, other workers, August 1st, 2022. I'm not familiar with any retrogression. So once you file the I-45 is when you can file the I-765 for the temporary work permit, employment authorization document. That EAD should take 4 to 6 months. Ask me again when you file. These times are always changing. They fluctuate. The temperamatic. So temperamental. I don't know what to tell you, Memo, other than you have to continue to wait. So hold out. Is Memo on an F1?
Memo, I think is I don't know. But I remember that it's EB3 other workers, and I do not think he's filed the AOS because he's asked us before.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been retrogression.
Some 245I situation going, I think. If I remember correctly, Memo has some 245I.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, work permit at least 4 to 6 months after you file the I-45 with the I-765. Make sure you file one based on that I-45 so you can use that and get off of whatever situation you're currently on.
You read my mind. I'm actually frustrated with my current legal team. We got you. O1 is our bread and butter.
Yeah.
Our website is o1visa.com. Bet you didn't know that.
Just come on.
Thank you so much for the English show. We're going to wrap it up here. For those of you that want to know a little bit about CESPA and don't want to listen to it on English because, wow, it was, sometimes you need to hear it in your own language. And if you speak Spanish, CESPA, vamos a estar hablándolo el jueves a las 12 mediodía, hora de Miami. Happy World Cup season.
You should be an announcer for the World Cup in Spanish.
I've been wanting to. Yeah, that's really my goal. And
that was your chance to say, that's really my goal. Wow, that was her. That's it. No, that ship sailed.
Tuesdays, 4 p.m. in English, the English show. Thursdays, 12 noon, the Spanish show. All your questions for free live. Thank you.
Hey, man, show some love.
Subscribe to the YouTube.
Like, subscribe, follow, comment, read, write. See you next week, guys.